Shazam, number 8, written by Mark Waid with art by Goran Sudzuka, Ivan Savorsina, and Troy Pateri. So yeah, we're still dealing with invading space dinosaurs, and just the idea that, I'm telling you, this whole thing with the gods and champions that give Billy his power, I hated that first arc and the idea how they like commandeered his body just to do bullshit. But like, even when we have the house wrecked up by Captain Marvel here and Black Adam, the house that the family needs to sell so they can pay off the rest of the house that they have already bought, it seems like weird. I don't know. Even the concept's weird of that whole thing. But now that the house is broken, we have more problems because without a proper house to raise a family, then they're going to go, all the kids are going to go back into the foster system because they can't be taken care of anymore. So we have to do that. And everything in this issue then relies on the idea outside of space dinosaurs. We're just dealing with the house part of this aspect of the story I'm talking about. It's like, I'm going to go to Zeus, who's just hanging out in the Rock of Eternity. I'm going to ask him to grant me a wish because of Zeus. But he ain't going to grant me my wish until Black Adam comes in and says, hey, guy, we're both kings. We got to do kingly stuff like this sometimes. Oh, hey, Zeus, he granted my wish and brought me back my house. And you know what? He made it a little bit bigger, too. I just want the idea at this point where Black Adam gets in there, talks about the idea they're both kings. I want Zeus to smite him down. How dare you compare your freaking self to me? This is ridiculous. But no, you don't get that. They just, hey, yeah, we should do some good stuff for the Billy Batsons. And I'm like, why are we just making this book a joke?
Because it's a joke. It has been. People did like the fun aspect. You don't like fun, Eric. You're the fun miser. But the idea of having fun, this is like, it happens too much, a lot. This is, and again, people will say, well, I like that. But the idea of like Kite, oh, you have Kite Man, hell yeah, Tom King.
Yeah.
Because people laughed at it once, all of a sudden now we have arcs with that. It's too much. And these space dinosaurs, fun for one issue, maybe a second issue, maybe down the line.
Even the idea that you have the original space dinosaur, which I originally hated, but the idea that he stays in the Rock of Eternity as a curator, almost like an Alfred, a talking T-Rex Alfred for Billy Batson and Rock, I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. Let's just leave him there. But when you have the ramifications of him staying behind where it's just more space dinosaurs coming down in the Starship Enterprise, shooting rockets that turn into paperwork all over the world, I'm like, I don't care about this.
Cover the world in paper pamphlets to warn people that if they don't do what they say, they're going to throw more paper at them. And you're like, well, okay. And it's not funny anymore. It's actually eye-rolling to me. It's almost like, okay, you have no story at all. And this is just bad. And where I do think that this really kind of puts things in focus, especially with the reviewers, including Sus Gabe. The idea that people were really like, oh man, this is the greatest. This is the greatest. This issue is no different in my mind than a lot of the others that we got before. It's the same reason why I don't like it as much. Suddenly, all the reviews just plummet. And they're like, oh, but it's up. Dan Moore is not on art here. He's not on art, so that shows you
and
that
the book takes a big hit.
Yeah, and that shows you weren't really that into the story. You just thought it looked great. What happens when not only Dan Moore is off, but you have Mark Waid leaving? Now, I'm not saying that Josie Campbell coming on might not have a better story, but people are already bailing now because of one little change. Because the book, it's paper thin. The story was kind of an illusion in my mind. It's like you'd be a mind freak, where all it takes is one little thing to snap you out of it, and you realize, oh, this is bullshit, because in this issue, you just get things thrown at you in a way of, oh, Black Adam, he's going to go talk to Zeus. They're going to come together. They're going to make the thing, but none of that is hard-hitting. None of it makes any sense while you have space dinosaurs arguing with each other, and I love the big play of this issue is to annoy the space dinosaurs to the point where...
This is how we resolve our issues with them.
And so Darla, he's like, Darla just says is why. You could have had a tape recorder do that. The way that it was, I thought that they were going to show, because she's very, very smart, and she's very feisty and sassy. I thought it would be more than just saying why. I thought you were going to get...
Why?
Now,
well, because of this. Why? Oh.
That's just an annoying kid of any sort. Not, oh, well, I thought it was going to make sense, like, but if you did that and that goes against this, and you were going to kind of cross the streams, and it was going to blow their mind. Almost like changing the binary code of a robot. Oh, my God, it takes them down. But no, she just says, why? Why? She's
to the point
annoying.
Where they say, okay, you take your Mr. Dinosaur. We don't want this anymore. We're going to leave. Just take this insufferable child away from us. I'm like,
the world was saved from space dinosaurs who need to do paperwork because a girl kept saying, why, to the point where they actually concede more than they have to. They don't have to give him the dinosaur. They just leave. No, take him. I'm surprised they're not paying the money. Let me pay for this. Hey, you want this? You want that? I thought they were going to fix the house. I thought it was good. but Zeus does. But then he also gives a wink, and it doesn't make sense.
I don't know if anybody has watched the movie Critters, okay? It's kind of a far reach at times. I love Critters, but at the end of that movie, back in the day, the space bounty hunters give them a little device to contact them, but also when they find this thing, they hit the button, and their house that just blew up because the Critters blew it up from their spaceship, it just comes back together in reverse, like, kind of like motion deal to make a full house once again. So like, oh my God, the day is saved through no means. That was ridiculous back in the 80s and just a weird way to end the movie. This is even more ridiculous. Zeus just makes the house bigger, but also he makes everybody forget about the damage in the area. And it's even weirder because Billy Batson, in the body of the captain, goes to the neighbor. Mr. Whittle, sorry about all the commotion earlier. What commotion, Captain? I was home all day. Not a peep except... Does the house look a little bit bigger? Why is Mr. Whittle okay with the captain just hanging out in the bats?
I don't know, and he seems like it's like he knows, like it's so weird, right?
This is a normal thing for the captain just to hang out with his family, apparently. And I'm like, that is a weird thing, especially for the idea that Zeus, on top of what he's done, has decided to make everybody forget because Black Adam says, no, we should do some kingly stuff for the Billy Batsons because we're good guys, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it also, Scott Grimes isn't in this issue like he was in Critters, so I like Critters more. I love Scott Grimes. That threw me up, too.
Also Terrence Mann, who played Ugg, the bounty hunter. He was Johnny Steele.
When you ended up having the neighbor, like, it's so weird. You're playing that trope, like, a sitcom trope. But why is he talking to the captain like that? Like, as if that's not, it's so weird. It's so weird that it's not Billy or whatever.
What are you talking about? The Vasquez family always has the Captain Marvel family around for some reason, I guess.
Yeah. Even the idea of playing it like, oh, this is our house, but it seems slightly bigger. I guess Zeus likes us. Okay, like what's happening here? Like nothing's happening. Even when Billy's like, "Hey, we could all live in the Rock of Eternity," I'm like, "All right, at least that might give you some story," but that's just thrown in there. And then Black Adam, he's upset that he ruined the stuffed animal. That is inhumane. He's a man of the people, his people usually, but he doesn't want to hurt a family. He
just this whole first confrontation in this story, like this series right now between the Captain and Black Adam, is just so lackluster overall. On top of the art not being Dan Mora, which is it's a fine art, but it's just like you're used to Dan Mora. You think to yourself, man, this could have been amazing if I saw Dan Mora doing this. But even with that, if Dan Mora was doing this, there's not much to the story of their first confrontation in the series overall. And it just shows Black Adam, he's not such a bad guy, but even when Billy confronts him in context, like, you ever come back here and punch me in the face again, I will end you, boy.
Yeah, and you're like, what I wanted to have happen.
Black Adam.
I thought it would have been cool. I don't know how Black Adam himself does it, but I would like it where, the house is fixed. You go, and then Billy goes down the Rock of Eternity. He's like, "Hey, Zeus, thanks a lot for fixing the house." He's like, "What the hell are you talking about? I'm not fixing your house." And then you're left to think, I think Black Adam did it, but he'll never admit it. That would have been kind of cool, but in this, we're just talking about a house anyway. It's like
when
ridiculous.
Black Adam went to the Rock of Eternity to talk to Zeus, who was just hanging out in the rock with Billy, who was asking him for help.
You wanted to fight.
When he says, I did not even just wanted to fight. I wanted Zeus to be so furious, the idea that Black Adam is putting him on the same, level as Zeus right there, that I want the War of the Gods once again. But as Zeus kicks the entire Greek pantheon down on Black Adam's head, we have the champions of gods, or I think it might just be gods, for Black Adams, who come to do his rescue like Egyptian gods, and then you have a War of the Gods that way between the Marvels and the Black Adams. I'm like, that could have been really cool, but no, it's just no fuss, no muss.
You know that that's not this type of book, but that would be cool. And then the weird play is you almost end up, because you had that, hey, the gods were taking control of the cap. Like, you didn't like that. I didn't love it either. The idea of, we want to show the people what the gods are really like. So then Billy tries to use that. Like, oh, if you fix our house and take care of all this, everybody will love it.
Tell people how great Zeus was, but then he also made people forget about it.
Nobody knows
there's no reason to tell anybody that Zeus fixed their house. Well, from what? It was fine. You talking about crazy?
I can imagine that, where Billy's like, oh, no, it was Zeus. They're like, what are you talking about? Your house was never wrecked. It looks a little bigger now, but it's not. Oh, never mind. Like, nothing is, it's just, again, though, the idea that a lot of it hinges on space dinosaurs, it's issue 8. We've gone on too long with this. It just is, it's a joke, and it's not funny anymore. It just ends up being, okay, what ridiculousness are we going to get here? It's all filler, and it's going to be a change of creative team.
And maybe that's for the best.
Well, yeah, and maybe Josie Campbell can come in and do something, but I just think that people are already bailing because of what you're setting up here. It's like a lead-in to a TV show. The lead-in isn't going to be good for Josie Campbell.
Maybe it's a strategic play, too, because a lot of people are just really against Mark Waid right now. So maybe they are fans of the Shazam title, but stopped reading because of their own personal preferences with Mark Waid right now. But if Josie Campbell comes in and be like, okay, now I can get off my high horse and read it again.
Okay, now we'll go into this a little. I don't want to. You have a fight going on. One side says, "Oh my God, I hate Mark Waid. Now I'm not going to read it." Those are not the people who are going to jump on the Josie Campbell book. They don't like her either, so it doesn't work that way. And I've seen them yell about because of her Mary Marvel shit they were mad about. So it doesn't work. And we know we'll get more Mary Marvel, which we would like. But yeah, again, I think that it's more.
I didn't mind her Mary Marvel stuff.
No, me and you liked it enough. You liked it more than me, but still, I think that this is when we talked about, other things where, we have James Tynion on a Joker. Are they going to continue it, or are they just going to stop it? Then they stopped it. I think that this might be something that should stop. Then I don't think it's going to do
I will
well.
tell you this, though. Zeus is a bit of a dick still, even though he does remake the Vasquez home. Makes it even a little bigger now. Makes everybody forget. It seems that in his, godlike power to do this, he done left a three-eyed creeper in the freaking kitchen cabinet that's going to plague our family in the next issue.
Yeah, the creeper. I'm like, what? It doesn't even, I don't know. When you have that creeper deal, it doesn't look right. But,
and again, we could get the actual creeper show up, the character, but I just took it as this monster in the cabinet might be called the creeper as well, but the creeper might show up. Who knows?
The creeper, the way that they put it, it looks like that font. So it just, I don't know. I don't know why the three-eyed deal, but yeah, at least it's not
the three-eyed monster in the cabinet.
At least it's not the diddler. That's all I say, Eric. I don't like the diddler. And the best part of this is that last scene that means nothing, the second epilogue, where you have Pedro yell, I kind of like that because the characters, they're kind of in character, but they're not even in the room. Other than that, kind of nonsense. What would you give it?
I would give this a 5 out of 10. The art is fine throughout. It's just not Dan Mora, which is always going to be a problem. But again, I don't want to hold the artist accountable for that because he's still doing some good art overall. But the story is just so paper thin, and all the jokes are just not randomly. They're overused from previous issues. They're not fun anymore. They weren't fun to begin with. And every cool aspect to this book that you could have taken, you decided to take the easy way out and not do anything with it at all.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's the easy way out in a weird turn of events of why?
Out of characters,
Why? I'm like, that's not good. But yeah, I'm a 5 out of 10 as well. Just a regular 5. And the art's okay. It's not Dan Mora, but that's, not their fault. So with that, not 2 great books right there. We have 2 more, Eric. I hear they're even better, but we'll see.
I'm telling you, at least with the Joker Year 1 story that we just talked about before this, there was stuff to really talk about, hypothesize about where this could be going, what they'd be doing. That felt like there was something at least of interest, even though we're not okay with the way the story's being told right now, and we're thinking that other aspects would be cooler instead of having a Joker Year 1. But at least it had something that you're okay, let's just get on this to maybe think this through. What are you going to think through with Shazam? What are you going to think through at all?
Again, I keep saying, this is where I was worried when you had Waid and Mora jumping on this book, and I said, we don't need just goofy fun like we have in, the Batman Superman World's Finest, where, okay, we're just going to have fun, little soul ragey deal. You need something with substance.
That even feels more substance than this.
I know. And you get how did I even know that? And so when you get that Joker Year 1, while I don't love the idea, it could end up being very important, too. So you can, it keeps your interest that way. And
even tying into what Zdarsky's doing in his regular Batman run before it was interrupted by Joker Year 1, dealing with the idea of what the Joker knows, Zur-En-Arrh, this, that, and the other thing. And, this is setting up a plot point so you can say, hey, this is why we're doing this. Now let's move forward with all the information given to you in a way that feels like it makes sense, at least.
You know what I can think? I want to compare it to Nightwing. But I like Nightwing more. I think Nightwing's doing more, even though we say nothing happens every issue. Things happen, but they're nothing. I just don't get it.
And the thing is, stuff that we talk about might be happening. We might be wrong. We just might be looking at it at a completely wrong direction.
I'm just saying the idea, you said it earlier, and I think that it really does epitomize this whole entire series. Everything that happens in a lesser way. You end up, oh man, the Captain Shazam versus Black Adam. Man, this is and then it's not. That's the huge thing that this book should be doing. This is the stuff that you hope the book shows. Oh my God, the Captain versus Black Adam. Hey, but what about Space Down? The Rock of Eternity. Everything just goes down the
We got some extra wisdom of Solomon.
Weird science
is the revolution.